It's another edition of Checking In with Hein and Johnny, where the hosts bring in mystery topics that neither host knows anything about until the mics go hot and on the air. We are the show that keeps the host from talking about the weather and World War II 24 hours a day. Hey, Heine, man, what's on your mind?
As you can see, Henry is not here. Is Doc here? Is Doc here? Is Doc here? No, Doc is not here.
Not here.
Henry is out teaching conversational English to the Cambodian refugees. So he's a humanitarian through and through. We love him for that. And in his place, no one can replace him, but in his place will be Unky Dave. Yay, Unky Dave. The crowd goes crazy. So, Unky Dave, this week is Christopher Columbus's not birthday, but Christopher Columbus Day. And the schools are so mad at him. My oldest son hates Christopher Columbus. He says he's got syphilis and he killed people and he's the worst person. He didn't discover America. And, with that kind of attitude, the young people today, I believe in 40 years, my great grandkids are going to say,
Christopher who?
And they're going to say about me, Grandpa wasn't the first grandpa. He was a loser. He had chronic bromidrosis, and I hate him. So every time my birthday will come up, they'll just say, today is Indigenous Grandpa Day. That's what happens to you. They get rid of you. If your statue's up, don't plan it being up because they're going to take it down with a truck and a rope tow, my friend. So now, Indigenous Grandpa Day will be this week from now on because I wasn't the first grandpa, and you have one of your favorite bands as a youth was the Mothers of Invention with Frank Zappa. Is that true?
Absolutely. In fact, being back living in Annapolis, Frank was just up the road in Baltimore. And my favorite memory of him was taking a charter boat, which we took you out on some time ago, years ago. His big gig with all his crew that he would take out and his guests, he would pull out a pocket fisherman, and he would pull this thing out, and it was 18 inches. And as they were going out into the Chesapeake Bay to fish, he would usually land the biggest fish with his 18-inch pole.
Ronco. Remember Ronco?
Much to the chagrin of the captains with their thousands of dollars of reels and poles and all their baits, he would bring one in on his pocket fisherman.
I love it. That's like baking a souffle in the Easy Bake Oven.
There you go, with the light bulb.
Light bulb. Did you own an Easy Bake Oven, and is that what inspired you to want to be a chef?
My sister had one, and I can remember those delicious homemade mixes that they would do under that light bulb that kind of tasted like a cross between a kitty litter creation and a doggy doo-doo. And you would have to sit and eat it and smile and say yum, or our father would pop you on the back of the head and say, you be nice to your sister.
Another thing that I remember is creepy crawlers. You remember where you'd squeeze the stuff in and then heat it, and then it would be a bug? It was awesome.
Yes.
I love those old school flavor. Delicious. Well, we have a lot to talk about. One of my favorite things that has happened near where we have been spending time, we went camping near Washington, D.C., and two thieves dressed in bikinis robbed someone at gunpoint in their apartment. That I love. I love that. If you're going to rob, if you're going to commit a felony, do it in a way that you'll get on the news, that people will celebrate you on TikTok.
Absolutely.
I love that. I can relate to creative felons. Did you ever commit a felon, and did you ever get caught? I guess it would be felony, right?
Yes, if I did, and to the best of my recall, I don't remember having, I wouldn't tell you because they bring up cold cases now and they go back. Look at politics today. They go back hundreds of years to dig up the last time you even farted. Or are we allowed to say that on this podcast?
You are allowed. I will tell you, it normally takes us 2 minutes before we start talking about farting and pooping.
Oh, okay, very good.
That's our average. So
I
we've done
jumped a little
really
prematurely. Sorry.
No, you did good. It was 5 minutes.
But I'm sure there's some watchdog group that monitors your podcast to make sure that there's some dirt that they can't dig up on us. So I'm going to make them dig a little deeper to find my felonies. I think the only one I really got caught at was stealing light bulbs at Christmas time from the neighbors' Christmas trees that were on their outdoor lights. And
well, that was just for fun.
Well, yeah, that's
just to be annoying.
But the big ones always popped so cool when you threw them in the street. They made this popping sound.
Now everything is LED. There are no fun popping sounds with lights. They're literally just a plastic encasement. My next favorite felony is a dude dressed in full scuba gear went into the lake, got out of the lake, robbed $10,000 at Disney Springs in Disney World, and then got away by going back in and swimming away. Scuba certificate, kids. Get a certification. You can be a felon and never be caught. And you can get on every newscast in the world.
And make sure you put your money in a Ziploc bag so it doesn't get wet while you're escaping.
Yeah. The lake water, plus you want to be fully encased because the lake water in Georgia and Florida, it'll kill you. That brain-eaten amoeba, it's no joke. That stale water that never goes anywhere. It's a death march. So tell me, what was your favorite part of camping? We talked to Connor while we were camping. Was there anything that stood out? For instance, did you see any German tourists with black dress shoes and black socks at the pool?
It was better than somebody with Birkenstocks and white socks.
We love folks that don't know how to dress for the swimming pool.
But
experienced
in a campground, I might have just been right there with best dressed. I mean, nice swimsuit with the black dress stockings, calf high, and dress shoes. My goodness. I mean, that's the latest in swimming pool fashion.
You've got to be confident to pull that off. I will tell you, that makes me very happy. When I saw that, my heart skipped a beat because that was extremely entertaining. As I sat in my loser swimming suit, I thought, I'm not bold. I'm not bold at all.
But I'm glad the black socks covered up some of the leg that was so white. I thought I was looking at skim milk. I mean, I've seen blue chickens on the eastern shore that had better suntans than the legs on that. Whoa!
As they said in Space, in the fantastic movie, he wasn't white. He was clear. Those were clear legs. They were so white.
Yeah.
He's not white. He's clear. I loved it. One thing that I did enjoy, we enjoying the podcast and mentioned that Henry that week was helping some orphans from a downed airplane in the Andes Mountains. When you were young, I don't know, probably 20, did you remember a movie and a book about the whole plane that went down in the Andes Mountains and they ate each other?
Absolutely. In fact, that's what made me want to go into culinary food services. Are there good recipes if you have to eat your neighbor in a survival mode on an airplane crash? And I thought, all right, now that's some good chefing if they can get your neighbor to taste good. In fact, it inspired me to get these Jeffrey Dahmer sunglasses or reading glasses.
Nice.
Because of the opportunity of perhaps a good tasty neighbor.
It's always, I have to worry. When I'm getting on the flight, I have to look around and make sure that I'm not the fattest guy because he's getting eaten first. And
That's
I'm
right.
hoping that I am going to get a few whacks in first before they take me down.
Or at least a tasty last meal.
Look at the fattest dude on the plane is getting eaten first. Never left my brain when they said, yes, we started on the buttock and then put the strips on a piece of metal. So it was like jerky. I'm like, oh, dude. Now, some people did, I remember some people didn't eat other people.
Right.
And they died. They died immediately, of course.
And then they were eaten.
And then those people were the grand buffet for next weekend. So if you are flying over Montana and the plane goes down, are you going to eat a whole bunch of people to stay alive?
I'm going to get the hell out of there, and I'm going to fend myself in the wilderness there. Your chances are a lot better.
I'm being the fat guy. I have to get out of there because the chef will just be like looking at he's like, is he
sharpening
he's going
the
down
knife?
by the he's going down by the river. I can probably get that guy. Yeah. So okay, I agree. I would rather die trying to get away than have the chef take me down hard. Good. I like that life lesson. We're good at life lessons.
Indeed, indeed.
I got off on a tangent. So someone heard that Henry had hopped on a private plane to go help them. And what did that person say to you after we were finished the podcast?
I didn't hear that on the news. I must have missed that.
It seems like a story I would have heard on the news.
You would think something that big.
That would be big news for Henry to have heard about it and then flown with a case of avocado toast. You would think we would have all heard about the nuns and orphans.
The avocado toast is what made it so convincing, I'm sure.
Yes. What are you free? Kiefer is going to be on the podcast in a week, and he is going to talk about millennials' love of avocado toast. He loves avocado toast.
Wow.
What's your relationship? You're a foodie. What's your relationship with avocado toast?
Well, I would rather have it wrapped in seaweed with a little rice and rice rind vinegar and wasabi, and in a sushi roll with crab meat and cucumber.
That sounds delicious.
Toast. I'd rather have toasted seaweed. I don't care much for avocado toast. It's a little dry.
It's a little uneventful. We need a little something.
Yeah.
And what is your favorite dish to create and eat? What's your absolute go-to that you crave and think about all the time? And you don't mind creating?
Gumbo. I love to create gumbo. Good andouille sausage, good variety of peppers of different flavors and heat factors. Good okra to thicken it naturally, and a mahogany roux, and lots of good wines and celery and onions, and love gumbos.
Delicious.
Because you can add fish, you can add oysters, you can add just about anything to gumbo but tomatoes. Because once you put tomatoes in a gumbo, it's a Creole.
It's not gumbo.
No.
Gumbo is so well liked that hymns have been written to its deliciousness. I agree. It is delicious. I think if I was in Louisiana, I would be able to eat red beans and rice and gumbo a lot. Yeah, it's delicious.
Absolutely.
That's a great choice. Great choice. Has anybody come into your sphere that has Tourette's? Because I want to know if it looks as hilarious as they show it on TV and movies. Do you know anything about Tourette's? And is it that fun?
I have to be very careful because I absolutely am so entertained by people that enter anywhere, sitting in a restaurant, sitting in a movie, anywhere. And I tell you, I get more elbows in the ribs when somebody walks into the room because I'm not very,
love it.
Yeah. To me, it's one of the most entertaining of all of the unfortunate situations that arise, because it
I
is
would
as
agree.
entertaining as on TV and in the movies.
I love it. And the fact, and what's amazing is, it's not a joke. It's not
Oh,
made up in
yeah,
Hollywood. It's usually naughty words,
it
which
is.
that's so awesome.
I think that's part of its genetic patterning, is a normally self-righteous person that wouldn't say naughty words. Once they're stricken with it, it's like every word they've ever heard or thought of comes out, and they can say, I can't help myself. It's like an
Can't help.
alcoholic. It's like a drug
I'm
addict.
sorry. I'm sorry. It's my Tourette's.
I'm
You
sorry.
know what? Probably I should just say I have Tourette's, and then I can say what's on my mind all the time in front of people.
You know, I had never thought of that, because then you're excused. It's a viable, acceptable excuse.
100%. If you
I
have Tourette's, people will give you a pass. I love it. And do you know anyone that has bromidrosis, the unbelievably stinky feet disease, written by and sung about by Frank Zappa in the classic album Apostrophe?
Yes, with
Bromidrosis.
Stinkfoot. Yes.
Stinkfoot.
No, I know somebody though that has a popcorn smell when their feet get warm. And it smells just like popcorn. And I love popcorn. And you know, it was amazing, because when we were first married, all of the sudden, our first night, I'm saying, oh,
You're like,
did somebody make popcorn?
I'm in the mood for popcorn.
This is great. Popcorn on our wedding night. And I got this. I am so embarrassed,
Went and washed the feet.
but I
It's
love
a
it, man.
ritual.
So
That's
no,
great.
not with Stinkfoot, but popcorn foot. And I love it to this day.
Popcorn
I
feet.
love popcorn. I think of those feet on wedding night every time I eat popcorn.
I love it. It makes you think of the theater
Yes.
whenever you, that's awesome. And it's the fall. What's your favorite part of fall? It is football. I know
But,
football is for
but
Henry and I. What's your fall thing?
comfort food, the stews, the chilies, the soups, the
Nice.
going back to the heavier fare that you kind of put aside when spring starts tapping into summer, and you want that bikini body, and that you start getting ready for hibernation. So you pack on the oils, the fats, the sugars, the things that should be warm and comfortable for a nice winter. So the cuisine
Love
that
it.
changes with the fall.
I love it. I was thinking football, and you were thinking delicious meat-based stew.
Which
I
goes with
like where you
football,
went with that.
and chili
Oh, it
that goes with
definitely does.
football, and the heavy, hearty
Yeah.
foods that go with football.
Abs comfort food, baby. I
Yeah.
love it. And one thing I would like to touch on, because Henry always gives some car flair to the podcast. What was your favorite car, and what car did you want desperately as youth? I know it wasn't a Chevy Vega. What was your dream car back in the day?
I wanted a 50 Seabird, hardtop
Yeah.
convertible, the porthole
People
with.
still want that.
They still
That,
do. They
yeah,
still do.
gorgeous.
And if I couldn't have that, I would have settled for a 32 three-window coupe, the little Deuce coupe.
Ooh,
What a charming little car. Throw a nice 327 or a 427 engine in that thing.
that would
A couple
cook.
of cross-ram dual quads, and
That would cook. One time you were on the pod and you brought up the fact that well, you're kind of thinking about maybe getting a little older truck and keeping it nice, but using it as your everyday car. And people loved that idea. They gave us tons of advice, tons of advice. So your question, I think a lot of people have that same question. They're thinking about getting maybe a little older truck and fixing it up.
well, think about it. Pre-computer chips in the cars. Because what are you going to do when your computer chip goes down? You can't run your car. But the old
No,
cars, you pull out the little tools. You set your points when the timing's off. You move the distributor cap a little bit. You fixes your tire. You change your spark plugs. Pretty simple. Simple mechanics. But nowadays, your car goes down. Yeah, you're sunk.
Yeah, they just replace.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just replace everything. We had a BMW, I think it was 3, and the electrical system would be down every 3 weeks on a brand new car. And they would just replace the whole thing. I mean, they would just go in and pull out the computer module completely, put it back in, and then it wouldn't work 3 weeks later. So I agree.
Well, I mean, look at even something so stupid as a tire on your car now with the little chip in it. And it goes out every time you get a wheel alignment or they rotate your tires. And then you have this flash, check your tire, check your tire, check your tire, because of some stupid little chip in there.
Yeah. Yeah, you're starting to sound like a boomer. You're starting to sound like you kids get off my lawn. I love that.
Gran Torino, man.
I'm usually that person. Henry's the moral backbone. He's always the Mr. Positive. I'm usually the get off my street, you young hoodlums, you ne'er-do-wells. So I didn't admit to any of the felonies that I did. I think I was very bad, though, at shooting fireworks at old people out of my moving car. That was a very bad thing that we used to do, and we thought it was hilarious. Now I'm the person that gets perpetrated against, so it's coming back to me now. Naughty teenagers. The one time I remember the most is really so evil. We came around and a lady in a walker was getting out of the car. And we couldn't get the bottle rockets lit 2 times, but she had to go up a lot of stairs. So on the third drive around the block, we got the bottle rockets lit and shot them at her.
Wow.
I am going straight to hell.
Well,
but now I'm the boomer that's nothing but trouble. Naughty teenagers want to harass. One good thing that I will say about that story, though, I wasn't in the car when it happened, but the kid that went always with us had all the fireworks on his lap in the back seat. And the guy in the front seat was shooting the bottle rockets out. It shot out, and one spark went out his window and back into the back window and lit all the fireworks off in this guy's crotch. So he went up in flames, bruises, pants, everything. I mean, it is.
He should have. Now, I remember my senior year, somebody threw one of those old Army war surplus smoke bombs in a locker in high school.
That's naughty.
It went off, and it filled the whole hallway with smoke. And they had to evacuate the school. And you know what? All 3 guys that shared that locker lost their locker privileges for the whole rest of their senior year.
As they should.
But the moral of the story is use somebody else's locker, because they pretty much knew who it was when the paint was all burned off the locker, and you had to pay for the repainting and the refixing of the locker. And fireworks are,
No, naughty kids.
Only under adult supervision.
That's right. And with the kids, fire marshal here.
So kids, if you're going to shoot fireworks at a senior citizen, grab a responsible adult to make sure they supervise you.
With that, we will see you next week. Kiefer will be our guest and chit-chat about avocado toast next week.
I can't wait.
Thanks for listening to Checking In with Hein and Johnny. You can follow all things Hein and Johnny by subscribing to Checking In with Hein and Johnny anywhere you listen to podcasts. Checking In with Heine and Johnny is sponsored by Conveyors and Equipment. They supply, design, and service all types of conveyors, belting, and material handling equipment since 1972. With 3 locations to serve you, Salt Lake City, Albuquerque, and El Paso. Find them on the web at conveyequip.com. That's CONVEY EQUIP.com.